King of Love, we moving on up. I have a message from the King of Love, lessons, degrees, melodies sent from above. The King of Love is sent to teach. Words of wisdom are within your reach. Knowledge is a deep understanding of the wisdom of self without being demanding. The words he speaks, the melody he sings, let you know in the door he is truly a king. Disregard the appearance, seek to reach within, and embrace the King of Love without fear of sin. His life is dramatic, his path full of gold. The King of Love will never grow old. The words make you smile, the touch makes you blush. The seriousness of it all sends your mind in a rush. Sisters, brothers, all families, you don't hear him calling? You must be deaf, because we seem to be falling from the highest heights where we were meant to be. His music soothes and his words relieves. Listen close, pay attention. Let him take you to another dimension. When you feel the touch, please don't rush. Relax, open your mind and learn to trust. Look within to see who you truly are, and let the King of Love be your guiding star. Welcome to another episode of From the Projects to the Penthouse. Today I have a special guest, Mr. Maurice Miller of Miller's Heating and Cooling Consultants. We're here to discuss the importance of minority certifications and your business. So today I would like to introduce you, to a man with a lot of words and a lot of wisdom who's going to share some pertinent information for you guys to be able to incorporate in your business so that you can win the bids. So before we get started, Mr. Miller, I would like for you to introduce yourself and just give us a little intro of a little bit about yourself and your business.
All right. So first of all, I want to say thanks for having me. I really enjoy sharing information and helping people because, we all know this whole procurement thing is new to us really as a people, and it's hard to kind of navigate through it. A lot of the entities and a lot of the people that work within the entities tell us misinformation to try to distray us and distract us from getting the certifications. One thing I like to say is that it's 54 billion on the table. I don't know another entity that has 54 billion. And I'm not saying, when you say 54 billion, usually they say that it's 54 billion when it's combined salaries and combined income. No, this is 54 billion on the table. It has nothing to do with the income or anything.
Let me stop you because we want to make sure that everybody understand the language that you're speaking in regards to the amount of money that's on the table for procurement. A lot of people, let's just be real, they don't even know what procurement is.
Exactly.
So let's explain to them what procurement is and how it relates to your business.
Okay, so
businesses.
So procurement is basically contracts, governmental contracts. You figure there's different levels of it. Most people have been conditioned to know that there's the MBE, and this is the certification that most of us of color are pushed in order to get. But there's so much more to procurement than just the MBE. You have
MBE?
MBE is the minority business entity or enterprise.
And what does that do for us?
That aligns you up with certain prevailing wage contracts that are funded through local government, which is like maybe a city municipality or a state municipality. Mm-hmm. And so that is the reason why a lot of people, they have those certifications, but they get limited work in procurement. You have to be in a situation where you're kind of double and triple breasted and be able to move around in procurement. So you have how procurement works is there's 3 levels of certifications. So you have service disabled veteran owned, hub zone, and you got 8A. Those are the ones that you can go all over the world and work. Then you have what's called the DBE, the disadvantaged business enterprise. That is the one when you're certified, that is the one that you get first because that's a federal certification. The $34 billion infrastructure bill is all dealing with highways, roads, and bridges, and all mass transit. So the only way that you can go ahead.
So with that, with the $54 billion that's on the table, that's what just in Illinois alone, correct?
That's in Illinois alone.
Okay, so just to be clear, with everybody who has a business or a skill set that they use in business. So for instance, you do heating and plumbing and HVAC, correct?
Mm-hmm.
I do business entity setups, taxes, and a lot of different things.
Mm-hmm.
So just so that everybody understand the importance of the certification is whatever skill that you're in, are we able to get minority certifications?
Okay, so how it works is you have what's called a NAS code. And so like mine is HVAC, mine is 238220. And then yours is contracting with admin. Yours is a certain number. So everyone gets a number. That particular number follows them through procurement. Now you can get multiple numbers, but just know when you're doing multiple numbers, when those bids come out, you have to be able to perform in those capacities with those particular numbers.
Okay, now the NAS number, that's the National Industry Classification System.
Yeah.
That we use to classify each, like plumbers, HVAC, business consulting, general contractors, all different types of classes, right?
Exactly, right.
Okay, so we assign that number, and from that number, we are then able to get certification in that particular skill set, right?
Exactly, yes.
Okay, and so how does that work in terms of once we get the certification so just take my business. I have multiple things that I do in my business.
Mm-hmm.
So with tax preparation, or when I do minority certifications.
Mm-hmm.
Or any kind of certifications from all the certifications that you're going to name later on as we discuss this. So let's just say one of the things that I do. So I'm able to use a certification in taxes to be able to procure or obtain contracts with city, state, and federal government.
Yes.
Just so having that NAS code?
Just for having that NAS code. That NAS code follows you through all the procurement. Wherever you go, that NAS code follows you. Because when you're bidding on, go ahead.
Sorry, go ahead.
Because because a lot of times, even though you don't get the bigger contracts, you become what's called a vendor to all of the entities. And then once you become a vendor to all of the entities will come out. The entities will come out with projects or bid notifications for a specific trade. Like for me, the Metro did something like they wanted HVAC services done at their headquarters. So they put out a procurement, or they put out an RFP or whatever you want to call it for my particular NAS code.
So a request for a proposal. For
RFP, RFB, or IFB, whatever they said.
Right.
But they'll put that out for that specific NAS code, which would be for me. Now, a lot of times on these things, you have a general contractor. So the general contractor covers a lot of that stuff, and then you just come in as a sub under that. But when you're dealing with the entity, you become a prime to that entity once you're a vendor. So you get certified, and now you're an MBE or a DBE or a WBE or whatever, and then within that you become a vendor to the entity. So you become a vendor to the city of Chicago, or you become a vendor to Cook County, or you become a vendor to Metro. And so when they have those smaller projects, you can be in a position to get those because you're a vendor under that NAS code, and that NAS code follows you.
So how does that give you preferential treatment as it relates to being a minority certified vendor, whether it be a MBE, a DBE, ACDBE, AA, veterans, SVOG, all these different certifications? What, in your own experience, what has that done for your business?
Oh, just for me, it just puts me on a different it puts me in a different category of bidding. You know what I'm saying? Instead of trying to bid on commercial and stuff like that, now I can bid on more governmental projects and things of that nature. It just puts you. It gives you more opportunity. That's what it does.
Okay, does it guarantee you anything?
Nothing's ever guaranteed. It just guarantees that you're able to get in the room. You still have to uh
Qualify.
you still got to qualify. You still
Mhm.
got to give the a responsible bid. You know, all that stuff. They just, I mean, when you get into procurement now, you know, on the streets, everybody know Miller's Heating and Cooling. But in the procurement world, I'm a nobody. So you're starting off business all over again. You could be out here 20 years. But in the procurement world, when you go on procurement, you're nobody. So you're starting from the bottom, working your way. That's how it goes with procurement.
So is it safe to say, Mr. Miller, that, like, say for instance, me, say if I get a contract being a WBE or MBE or DBE with the city of Chicago, and
Mm-hmm.
they're looking for some people to do business consulting, and they have a $100 million contract out there. Most certifications, if I'm correct, it allows you to be able to get a portion of the bid if you're subcontracting it. But if you're the exact contractor, you can get all the bid, because most contracts come with the direction of saying that they have to have a certain percentage of minorities on these contracts, right? So
Yeah,
isn't that
but
the purpose?
right, but see, what you saying is if you're a prime, then you hire the subcontractors. But then
Right,
if you're a subcontractor, then you're under the prime. Don't you know they get kickbacks for using the certifications, the MBEs, the DBEs. They get
right,
kickbacks for that. So that's the reason why they want it. But
right,
see, the problem is, and I say this all the time, it's not enough of us that's out there that's certified. The same paperwork that you need to go and apply for a business loan is the same paperwork that you need to be certified. You know,
right.
and you know, and then once you get certified, what the problem is that people wonder, how do you pay the people? Okay, so how you pay the people is that you put the money in the bid. So if I'm bidding and I got a man and I got four guys, I put four guys on their salary per hour, per 8 hours, per 40 weeks, and I put that in the bid. That's how it
Mhm.
works. That's how you pay the people. That's how
So
people
that's
get. That's how you pay the people. When you bid in the job, you put all that in there. You put your how many guys you gonna work, how much they make an hour, and everything per prevailing wage, and then you go a little over because you got to do the administrative part with this guy. You got to make sure that all his paperwork together, he paid, and this, that, and the other, and all that.
with the
You put that
union and
in
all
the
that.
bid. That's
Right.
how it works. That way you're not bidding on something and you ain't got enough money and you trying to say, well, how am I pay these guys? And that's the biggest thing that people do in procurement. They go in and they don't bid enough to pay the guys. And then now you stuck out there and you can't finish the job.
Well, that's important. That's
Yeah, you gotta know
important.
how to bid the job. You gotta bid the job in order to be able to, and it's a system that they have. You just ain't gonna walk in and just doggone do this off the street and it's gonna happen. The algorithm doesn't make it for you to do that. You
Right.
know,
Sometimes I think that in my experience in working with bids, and because I do, RFPs and IFQs and write different grants and stuff like that. So I'm familiar with the process. But I think that what's important people understand is that it's important to have a certification because it puts you in the game, correct?
yeah.
And once it puts you in the game, then a lot of contracts, like you stated to me that you are a veteran, correct?
Right.
So a lot of times when I'm writing bids, or even if I'm writing grants, they have a certain amount allocated to be able to just give to those that have a veteran preference.
Mm-hmm.
Even on in so many different areas, it's like they have that veteran preference. So if you're a minority certified business and you have an additional veteran preference with that, then that gives you a double indemnity to
Well,
be able to win that contract, right? As long as you bid
yeah.
out.
Well, I mean, first of all, you got to figure out. You got to figure out as far as procurement go, what kind of job is it? Is it a DBE job? Is it an MBE job? Is it a city
Right,
job? Is it a county job? I
right.
mean, if
So
you trying to go.
let's say it's a city, and the city
Mm-hmm.
wants a portion of that contract. Say the city has $100 million, because I want to just make sure it's clear. You've been in the business, you know the business like the back of your hand. We want to encourage people to get their certification so that they can get in the game. Once they're in the game, then they're able to learn about estimating the bids and making sure that they bid it out correctly. But what I'm saying is, I want you to tell us, in your experience, when you first started off getting yourself licensed as your business, Miller's Heating and Cooling Consultants, when you first came out of the gate and you got your minority certifications, you did yours yourself, correct? Can you
Yes.
hear me, Mr. Miller? So you did yours yourself.
Okay.
So
So
can you go over your experience with you first getting in the game and how it's helped your
okay.
business so
So
far?
okay. So in I think I want to say it was like 015. I sat down because I had been running the business like, just like a small hustle, trying to, just get by or whatever. And so,
That's what I want
as I got older, it's like, okay, so now I need to do something to set up for retirement, And so I got an administrative background from the military. My background is admin, and so I just went to heating and cooling because they paid for it. I had the Illinois Veterans Grant that paid the tuition. I was getting the money for the GI Bill, and I only had one thing that I can do. I didn't have a bunch of choices, so I said, well, whatever I'm gonna do, I need to make it count. And so that's when I decided heating and air. And so I quit the post office, came out, started the business, and then when I was about maybe, I want to say maybe 32, 33 years old, somewhere around that, I was like, I need to have something. I need to get this thing set up so that the way I can retire. And I sat down, I did the paperwork, and I got the DBE first. A lady sat down and told me you need to get the DBE first because all those CTA contracts and all that stuff, everybody got MBEs with the CTA and they can't get no work because they got the wrong certification. You got to have a DBE when you with the CTA because that's mass transit. That's all Department of Transportation. So all them people that's out there that's got that MBE trying to bid on CTA jobs, you got the wrong certification. Period.
Wow.
You all got the wrong certification. We've been pushed to get the MBE and you pigeonhole the MBE pigeonhole because that's a state certification. Certification goes, you got 3 levels, as I said before. You got service disabled veteran on, you got hub zone, and you got 8A. So those are the top of the food chain. You can go anywhere in the world and work with those. Then you got the DBE, which is the federal one. Then you got the hubs on now. Then you got the MBEs. Now in the MBE realm, you got the MBE for the county and the city, and then you got the MBE for the state. Well, the MBE for the state, which is CMS-BEP, lets you work on tollways. You can get on the same track with all the universities because the universities have their own procurement process, track, payment schedule, everything. Okay. And so then you go, so you get the county. The county counts for city and county. You see what I'm saying? Right. And so then the state covers tollway. It covers tollway. It covers Illinois bid buy. It covers also. You want to be in a situation where you can bid in multiple. You can be in multiple entities at one time. Now, on the government level, if you're not service disabled, veteran owned, or veteran owned, then the best thing to do is get your DUNS number. And they're
not doing DUNS no more.
I know it's a different number. It's an EIM number, something like that. Right. But you still got to put the DUNS number in there in order to be able to get the EMI number. So you got to go to DUNS first, get that number, then you register with SAM.
No, they stopped the DUNS now. You go directly to sam.gov and they give you what they call a UEI number.
Yeah, UEI number. I got it. Yeah.
They give you the UEI number.
Now, some people still ask for your DUNS number because I had I was just on doing a bid for the ComEd vote at the VA hospital, and they asked me for my DUNS number on there. Well, it's so funny because that's federal. I don't know why they asked for it, but they asked me for it.
Yeah, it's federal, but the SAM has taken over that.
Yeah, SAM has taken over it all. Yeah.
So technically on a bid, they can't. If they ask you for a DUNS, you giving them your UEI.
Yeah, I get it. Yeah, but so the object of procurement is to be able to bid in multiple entities at a time. And when you just got the MBE, you can't go and do DBE projects. You can't go and
Now,
bid
what's
on.
so just I'm sorry to interrupt you, but what's the DBE? What is that? What is
Okay,
DBE?
so what happens is that in mass transit railroads, bridges, and concrete work, they have the infrastructure set up where they have federal funding. And so when the federal funds come down, it's a city job, but it's federally funded. So when it's federally funded, that's where the DBE rule applies. And so on the DBE side,
So
they get
tell them what
mobilization.
the DBE is. Tell them what the DBE is.
It's the disadvantaged business enterprise. That's what DBE is.
Yeah.
Disadvantaged
So that
business
means
enterprise.
what does that mean?
That means that you're able to bid on federal jobs.
No, what I'm saying, is there any kind of limitations to qualify for the DBE?
Yeah, I think they said, what do you say, 1.2 million or something you could be a part of, but I thought you could graduate out of there with more than that. I thought it was like 13 million.
Well, in other words, they just saying you're a disadvantaged business if your personal net worth is under a certain amount, which is now is 1.32 million. They're saying personal net worth. Now, the business can still be considered possibly, and I have to look this up.
That's 32 million for the business.
Right. But your personal net worth can exceed that amount in order for you to qualify for the DBE, which is the disadvantage. So you're saying to us that having a DBE is more advantageous if we're in certain fields to use it. Correct.
CT, all mass transit, bridges, and all that stuff, DBE is the one you need. Because the general contractors get mobilization money and stuff off of using the DBEs.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the reason why they get money for using.
So when you say that, what are you saying? That they when they hire you as a DBE to work with them as the prime contractor, they may give you up to a percentage of, if the work is 100,000, they'll give you 3% of the work because they're using your DBE.
No. So on every job they have goals. They got MBE goals and DBE goals and minority goals. Right. And so it doesn't have nothing to do with percentage of money that I make. It has something to do with what they'll get back from the entity for using me.
Right.
My contract is my contract. They don't get nothing off of that.
So, right. But in order for them to use you, the goal that's written within those RFPs or the bid is always stating, most times, I know some of the ones that I've seen, it says that they have to have a 3% MBE or a 3% DBE. And so these big companies who win the big money on these contracts that we are eligible for, that they can't do without us, right?
Right.
So we have a leverage.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Because all we have to do is do what? Set our business up instead of using it as a hustle and get our certifications.
And it's the same money it's the same paperwork that you need to go ask for the bank loan. It's all the same thing. It's the same paperwork. The same paperwork that you need to get certified is the same paperwork you need when you go to the bank loan. If you're a corporation, you got to have your bylaws. You got to have your all your stuff, your stock certificates, your articles, your stamp, everything you need to start a business. When you go to the bank, all the stuff.
Mr. Miller, you're taking away my work. That's what I do for a living, help people get certified.
I get it. I'm just telling you that. I'm just telling you that these are the things that you need. Yeah, but those are the things you need in order to do it. I mean, it's to say, people be always talking about, well, I don't want them in my business and this, that, and the other, and all that stuff. Wait a minute. The same paperwork you talking about going to the bank for to get a bank loan is the same paperwork you need to get certified. Period.
And it helps you make more money, right?
And make more money. I remember my first job. I did the metro station over in Maywood. It was from the ground up. We did a metro station, and it was real easy. Like I did a invitation to bid. I mean, the paperwork is not that intense when you're bidding. Most of those bids are like maybe 3-4 sheets of paper, really.
Right.
And so I filled out the invitation to bid, sent it to the people, and then next thing you know, I found out that they was awarded the contract. And then back then we wasn't doing docu-signs and all that. They FedEx a contract to my office at the time. And I was like, wow, it was so easy. You know what I'm saying? And I was like, wow, wait a minute.
You got an administrative background. To most people, that's not easy. Because they don't have that background. They don't. Some people get convoluted when it becomes to paperwork. That's why y'all can use me, JS Enterprise.
I'm not gonna let
vacation. And I can get the bids. No, I'm just kidding. Shout out.
I'm not gonna let a computer stand in the way of me and 54 billion. I don't know what to tell you.
I know, but so tell me, Mr. Miller, why do you think most contractors they do that?
Why they don't do it?
Why do you think most people? Can you hear me now?
I can hear you. Yeah.
Okay. Why do you think most people who are contractors, plumbing, electrical, painting, drywall, all contractors, those are work? It's work out there for them to attain. But so, do you think it's the fear of the paperwork that prevents them from, legitimizing their business? What do you think it is?
You've
been around a long time.
See, the thing is, what they don't do is they don't put it all in the budget. So if I'm being the job, I'm gonna sit down. I'm a small company, so I don't have a lot of overhead. But if I'm a company that's got a lot of overhead, when I bid that project, I'm gonna put, and this they looking for. I'm gonna put the man hours in there. I'm gonna put what it takes to run my office for at least 6 months. I'm gonna put all my bills at home in that bid for 6 months. I'm gonna do all that and put that in that. Those are the kind of bid. You know how when we always say the contractor want to try to hit everybody overhead and get rich off every single person. Right. Those are the jobs that you get. Those are the jobs you hit them over the head and you get rich. That's those jobs. Now you can come out here. You can come out here and try to hit all these little people over the head and get rich, but you don't want to go in a situation where you actually can do it and don't do it. That don't make sense to me.
That's it. Because they really putting the burden on the little people instead of the big companies that they can legitimize their business with and actually get the work. So you nickel and diming and tearing off the head of people who are like me, just contractors trying to get a house done. So here you come overcharging me when you could be really charging prevailing wages dealing with a contract with a major.
I can go on one contract and I could bid enough on there to pay all my bills for a year. I can bid enough to pay my employees for a year. I can bid enough to do my overhead for a year, buy another vehicle, and all that, all in one job.
So why has this been out so long, Mr. Miller? Why aren't we as a community utilizing it?
Because procurement is strange. Nobody understands the word procurement. It's like, again, it's 54 billion in it. If there's another industry that's out there that's got that, I'm not saying that we collectively working together and have 54 billion. It's 54 billion there without the work even being done. That's what I'm talking about.
A lot of times it don't get touched.
Huh?
A lot of times it don't get touched by us.
A lot of times it don't get touched. Out of that 54 billion, they said that it's 14 billion in the tollway.
Yep.
Now they try to key you in paperwork over there. That's why they got they got technical assistance and all that stuff over there in that. No, not even that. They got tollway assistance program. P-Tech is something different. But they got they got tollway assistance program and all that. But it's a lot of money out there. We're not in the game, and if you got the MBE, you really cheating yourself.
Now explain that one just so you clear.
Because with the MBE, it pigeonholes you. You can only do certain jobs with an MBE. You can't do DBE projects. You can't do, and it depends on what the MBE you have. If you guys got the city one and you don't got the state, you really still pigeonholed.
Right. So let me ask you this while you're on that subject. So, for instance, if I want to do business with Metra,
Uh-huh.
and Metra's RFP wants a DBE, and I go bid to, because I heard you say earlier people are making mistakes wondering why they're not winning the bids is because they went and bidded on a DBA project with an MBE. Is that correct?
Yep. They do it with CTA all the time. You bidding on the CTA project with an MBE when you supposed to have a DBE.
So that means whoever's doing the bidding for the people are not looking at the bid correctly when they're, assigning the contract, or, bidding out the contract for the company that they're, assigned to, whoever they hire to write their bids. Or if they're doing it themselves, because it's clear that it says they want a DBE
Yeah,
in
it's
the
clear.
RFP. So
Yeah.
that's why y'all need to come to JAS Enterprises, because I know how to read. Ain't that right, Mr. Miller? So we won't be bidding no MBE contracts, no DBE contracts with an MBE certification.
It's not gonna work.
It's not going to work. So it
Yeah.
prevents you from being
And
able to
then
get
you
the job.
then on the MBE side, you got the county, which is city and county, but you also want to get the BEP because that puts you on the track with the universities. See, the universities, they have their own track, their own pay schedule, they own everything. So it's not no 90 and 120 days getting paid for the universities. Most of them people getting paid in 60 days at the universities.
Right. And there are
You get
some
what I'm saying?
entities out there. That's another good thing. I think that could be a reason also why most contractors or people who do work in the system, whether they're an educator and they bidding on the contract for education within the CPS, right? I think that a lot of times people shy away from the bids because they feel that they cannot fund the project. Is that correct?
You do what's in your capacity. People always think about procurement. I'm getting $1 million contract. $1 million contract does not give you $1 million. You need a $4 or $5 million contract to get $1 million. It's not gonna work like that. I'm getting $1 million contract. That don't mean nothing. You get $1 million contract, you're only walking away with $150,000, $200,000. Because first of all, they're gonna back charge you. Then you gotta learn everything. Then you gotta pay everybody to do the paperwork for the invoicing because you don't know how to do all that. And the closeout paperwork. So when you're done, you're gonna see 150, maybe 200,000. The algorithm of the whole procurement process and industry is not made for you to do it like that.
Here go another plug for JAS. I know how to manage the contracts as well. Is right there. Another plug, JAS Enterprises. I'm sorry, Mr. Miller. Go ahead.
And so, the biggest thing that we need in it is past performance. That's the biggest thing. Past performance means you was awarded the bid, you invoiced it,
Your phone
and
is
you did.
okay. Okay, I can hear you now.
You awarded the contract, you invoice, and you did closing documents. The whole thing with the whole contract. That's past performance. And so once you get past performance on a couple of smaller jobs, then you increase. So you may start off, you may get a couple of $100,000 jobs. Then after you get a couple $100,000 jobs, then you move up to 250,000. Then you move up to, and then you keep going. And then, a lot of times you can find somebody you can do what's called a joint venture. If you get two companies together and everything, and then y'all come together and y'all do it. A lot of the bigger companies do joint ventures all the time. You will see in the city where you got they got the project on 43rd and Cottage, 43rd right there off the L on the green line where you got Boy and McHugh. They joint venture. Then you got, you just got to pay attention to what's going on in the area. There's a lot of construction going on in the area we driving past and don't even look at it. Whole lot of construction. And this is all part of the infrastructure bill. And so I don't want us to miss out on the money, because this money is already here. It's not something that we got to go out and try to hit people over the head to get. That money is here already. So I think we lost. Oh, okay, we got you back now. All right, so any more questions? Do someone out there on the panel have questions?
Anybody have any questions to ask Mr. Miller? Tell us real briefly, Mr. Miller, how long you been in the business?
I've been doing heating and air since '96, but I've been certified since 016.
Okay, so you started off like most people started off, like with the hustle of it. And
Yeah.
then you made a decision to legitimize your business so that you can gain more access to jobs. And so you're always the best heating and cooling guy in the South side of Chicago. So y'all can hit them up at Miller's Heating and Cooling Consultants Inc. Mr. Miller, what number do you want to give them?
Uh, uh, Questions about the business or stuff like that is 773-444-8432. Consultant questions and things like that is 312-709-9286. And then I would prefer if you shoot a text and then let me know that you were a part of this podcast. And then I can answer the questions. But as far as paperwork and stuff go, I will refer you back over to Miss J so she can kind of help you that part. I know how to work the system and navigate you through so that way you're in a situation where you have more bidding power. And that's the
Yeah,
thing. Like we have some people out there that talk about how they want to go out and they want to stop the jobs and all this stuff. We're gonna get together. We're gonna stop the jobs. Okay, well the war is in the bid. It's not. You're not going to stop the job because the thing is, it's not about the general contractor. It's about the entity. So you talk about going down on a city job, stopping a city job, but you're not qualified to do work for the city. And then it's too late at that point because they've already bidded and awarded the job. So you're not going to stop the job. They're going to let you send somebody down there to be a laborer or maybe a flagger or something like that. But you ain't going to step in there and get no real money like that. It's not going to work like that because number one, you ain't certified and you can't get on the job. It ain't the general contractor. It's the entity. You going on a city job and you're not qualified to work for the city, which means you got to be certified. That's what it means.
right.
And so they'll get you in and sit you down and everything. And they going first question they're gonna ask you is, do you got your MBE or what you got? Oh, nothing. Well, okay. They gonna they gonna laugh at you right out of the door.
That's true. That's so true. I got a question for you. What number do I call if I need heating and cooling services? I'm gonna put it in the chat as well as you can say it out loud.
It's 773-444-8432. How many people we got on this thing?
8.
Oh, it's 8?
Yeah, but it'll be on the replay, so
Uh,
people can always they can review it and they
yeah.
can get your number off of there. For heating and cooling is 773-444-8432.
Uh-huh.
And they'll be able to direct you from there if they have any questions with consulting. If they want to reach me, they can reach me at 630-743-3637. And that's for minority certifications, or it's best to send an email to jasenterprised@gmail.com, and I'll get back with you quicker via email than I would via phone. So, Mr. Miller, you have shared so much information. I pray that this sparks people to legitimize their business. I do business entity set up as well as getting certified so that they can be able to put some, skin in the game. They'll be able to take their skill set and get quality contracts that they don't have to hustle people in the street for. They can legitimize their business. And Mr. Miller does a wonderful job. I personally have hired him to do work with us, and I mean, on time, dependable, reliable, not like these other people who in the system doing HVAC and hustling, doing it, no licenses and nothing like that. So it's important, guys, to legitimize your business, get the certifications. If you're of this culture, you are entitled to become certified, which entitles you to the job.
Yeah, the railroad was built off our backs for free, and
Exactly.
we didn't got mass transit was built off our backs for free, and
You
you
better
got
tell
opportunity now where we can capitalize on that. That
them.
don't even make
Right.
sense. Like we invented everything. We invented everything in America. You
Yep.
know, we built the pyramids with no tools, and you
That's it.
telling me we did all that, and with all this technology, you can't get no money? That don't make sense to me. It just don't.
You got a
You know,
real
it don't.
skill. They be having
You got,
real skills.
you got a real
And
skill set.
yeah, and
You know,
rather, and I've heard me talking to people over my experience, talking to people about setting up their businesses correctly and stuff like that. People tell me all the time, I don't want to get certified. I'm good. They good with the hustling, nickel and diamond, $100 job, $1,000 job. They good with that when they can really get some real money and be able to employ, empower, and encourage other people. They can hire people and train and develop other people to do the skill set when you get the bigger contracts. So once again, it's a mindset. I say all the time that there's no enemy within, the enemy outside can do you no harm. We just have to change our thinking and start reaching out for the resources that's there, because that's what Mr. Miller is saying. The resources are there. Most of you guys are veterans. Some of you guys are minorities. You are entitled. Most big companies, all those contracts got a percentage of certification that's required to even do the work. I believe, if I'm correct, Mr. Miller, there's not hardly any contracts out there that don't require some sort of certification. Even with them building the Obama library here, they got minority certifications
goals.
built into that money.
Yeah, they got goals. My guy Sullivan is the only service disabled veteran owned sprinkler guy. He got some work over there. You know what I'm
See,
saying? I mean, you
that's what I'm
gotta like,
saying.
I mean, I don't understand. I mean, it's 54 billion on the table. If there's another industry out there that's got to tell me, I'll stop this and come there. But I already know it's not another industry that got 54
That's
billion
got that
on
kind
the
of money.
table. I already know
Get
that.
some of it. Y'all got
You
to
got to get
come
some
get
of it.
some
If
of
I if I can get half of 1% of that, that's enough to
it.
feed
And
my
invest.
generation five times down.
They
You
have to
know,
invest in themselves. That's
yeah,
what it really is. You have to invest. You got to believe in your business enough to invest in yourself. If you don't know how
yeah.
to
I
do
mean,
something, you got to pay somebody to do it.
and on top of that, I mean, you can bid on projects that's within your within your capacity. I can get a whole bunch of $150,000 jobs. I can get a
Mm-hmm.
whole bunch of them. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
That's enough to be able to do a lot of different things that you can do instead of trying. I could do $100,000 jobs, and I make more money than if I did 25. I have to do 20 or 35 small jobs to get that one job.
That's it. It really, really, really works. Mr. Miller, thank you so much. And guys, it's getting cold outside. If you have any problems with your heating and your, well, not cooling, but heating, the number is 773-444-8432. Reach out to Miller Consulting. They'll get right back to you. He's not the type of contractor that say something. He's a man of his word, high level of integrity, very, very wise. He won't sugarcoat it, and that's why I had to get him on here, because he told me, wait a minute. He stopped me, and if somebody could stop me in the middle of something, it draws my interest. So I wanted to share the certifications and the importance of having them with you guys. So reach out to Mr. Miller. Mr. Miller, could you give us your email address?
Yeah, it's Miller's Millers heating heating, the word and cooling 2012 at gmail.com. Don't forget the S because I won't get it.
Right. Miller Heating and Cooling.
Millers with an S.
Miller's Heating and Cooling 2012
2012 at
at
gmail.com.
gmail.com. So you guys got that. So if nobody else has any questions, Mr. Miller, you got anything you want to finish us off with? Thank you so much.
So, my goal is to have at least 10 or 15, maybe 20 people certified, bidding on 10 jobs a week. And so once we do that, then we could sit down and talk to the purchasing officer, the chief procurement officers, and all of them, and find out why we're not getting these jobs. Because as long as it's just me, they can sweep me under the table and play games. I've been kicked off jobs, all kind of stuff been happening to me since I've been out here. Because
they need the money.
Yeah, they don't want to come off of it. And so if it's not enough of us, they can keep doing it. But if enough of us get together, and they got to come off the money, it's time for us to get our piece of the pie. Back in slavery times, you was only 3/5 of a man, and you couldn't go to war. But when all the white guys went to war, blacks was there doing all the fixing. They was the shoe shine man. They was the horseshoe man. They was the plumber. They was this. They was that. And so we got to know in our mind that these are things that we can do. I mean, we got the pyramids up, and it was no tools. We got it, and the pyramid still standing today, with no problems. You ain't heard no pyramid leaking water, or you ain't heard none of that. And we still, and they still up with no tools. We did that. All the buildings in DC, the Capitol, and all that stuff, we built those buildings for free. Even after slavery, the on the Capitol building, they got the man in the Capitol building. I think they got him facing east or west or some. It's something. It's something. Some type of thing that they got to talk about that. How they got the man standing a certain way. That had to do with us not being in slavery, and they put that thing up on there for free. I mean, come on, we gotta get in a position where
it's power in this. It's collective.
We gotta get something that we can leave our kids. We got, we got the girl that's got the only minority towing.
Oh yes. What's her name?
It's C&J towing. That's the girl. She does all the towing. And she just understands procurement and taking advantage of it. You gotta take advantage of this. This is we gotta take advantage of it. We are not in procurement. It's 54 billion, and we're not in the game.
And we're not in it.
And we're not in the game. It's just like the lottery. You can't play. You can't win if you don't play. You got to get in there.
If you're a GC, if you just general contractor, you out here flipping and rehabbing, and you flipping and rehabbing stuff, but you ain't certified. You need to get certified. So if you get certified, when those contractor jobs come out there, you can do construction management. You can manage the project. You can go ahead and do some of the work. That's all you got to do. You got a skill. We rise up, Mr. Miller, for the wrong things. And they ain't put no money in our pocket where we can enable our communities to grow or do anything better.
This is generational wealth. This is the generational wealth that they're talking about. It's generational wealth in procurement. It's generational wealth. We got the Rotary Group, Ottoman Rotter. I forgot it's the Rotary Group, but he's the biggest infrastructure in the United States. Black owned dude. Grew up on 87th Street. And got the biggest firm. He does utility findings, and then you see the trucks, but the people don't pay attention. It'd be like a little Pathfinder, and it'd have a little AMR sign on it with like different colors on top of it, chopped up. And they just go around. They find utilities. They do utility finders, just like URG. They the utility finders. You see the other people out there. HBX, HBK, that's another one. Those engineers. You see all those trucks on the streets all the time. You see the John Burns out there. They got the one contract to change all the street lights on the street poles in the city to LED lights. One company. How they get that one contract? You know how much bread that is? They got the contract to change all the LED lights in the city. And they ain't going up and driving up with the truck. Going up, I watched them do it. Take them 20 minutes. In 20 minutes, they probably making They probably making close to 10 bands in 10 minutes up there with that
Somebody
truck.
said Shades of Green LLC.
I ain't never heard of them.
Yeah, Shades of Green LLC. What is that,
What
Mel?
do they do? Or
I
is
was
that they
looking at. Let's look at. We can take a lot of examples that I know of. What about AD Property and Preservation Company? He was the first black-owned property preservation company. He getting all over there on the south side.
We talk about the MBE. We talk about
He's certified.
he's certified. So now he get all the projects when they go and they demo city properties or receiverships and all that
Yeah,
stuff. He get all that.
he get all of that.
We'll talk about the MBE the MBE waste management. Diamond is a brother. He got his own waste management. He's certified. So now he got his dumpsters in on city property and stuff like that now. I mean, it's endless. I mean, you could do a small cleaning service and make a killing on cleaning. You ain't even got to know nothing. You just get the cleaning certified, and then when the contracts come up, you bid on them. And now you say you may get a cleaning contract to do, like the people do clean slate. That ain't nothing but a company that's minority that's got the contract to clean all the streets out when they had the people up there. That's all it is.
For any kind of work.
Contract for any kind of work. You know, and you got any kind of work.
All you gotta do is get certified.
All you gotta do is get certified, and you know the work.
It's generational wealth, and God is trying to He's trying to transfer the wealth of the wicked into the hands of the righteous, and we just have to prepare ourselves. And part of preparation is getting yourself and your business in order and getting your licensing or your certification so that you can properly manage your business.
Yeah. I mean, it's just, it's not easy. I'm going to tell you that now because you're a nobody. You're still you building your business from scratch. But at the end of the day, if it's enough of us out there, because they'll sit up and say, it's not nobody. We can create a pool that we can send straight to all the general contractors saying, we got this. It's only like 8,000.
All these people.
We got all these people right in one pool that's all certified and everything. Now you ain't got no excuse. Then once we do that, then we see we ain't getting the jobs. Then the next thing is to go to the entity. Well, okay, I need to sit down and talk to somebody in city development. Why are we not getting these
money is allocated for us? We're supposed to be able to get this money, and if we band together, we can get the money. Like he said, if they disallow you the money and it's one person, they can sweep you up under the rug because you really don't have no voice. But if you get 10 companies that's all minority certified, go and bid on the Obama library, that's a lot of money.
That's a lot of money.
They can't denounce that because the money is federal dollars. It's federal.
The Obama is all private money. That's no federal money. That's all private.
No, that's all private.
That's all private. That whole project is all private. Ain't no federal funds.
Any kind of goals in that private money?
I don't know that just
private money. If it's
I don't know.
When they have private money like that, all these skyscrapers and stuff like that, the feds throw money in there and they give them goals.
Yeah, they do. Yeah. And so, like I said, they honor it a little bit, but it ain't enough. That's the reason why they put that noose out there because they know we coming. But they know we coming. I mean, they gotta come off the bread. That's just what it is.
Yeah.
And we're entitled to it. We entitled to this, just like they feel they entitled. We entitled.
Yeah.
Certain companies been running out here since 1906. They got 100 some years on us on procurement. I don't care about that. I just want what's mine. That's all I want. I want what I want, my part. I ain't worried about what nobody else did over the years. Just give me mine. When I bid, I expect to get my bid, be treated like a citizen, get my money, and be gone. And that's how it works. But on the federal level, it's so sweet because with them, once you get in and you get in the invoice system,
it's sweet.
It's wonderful.
It's sweet. That's real sweet money. And that invoicing, that's not even hard. It's just if you don't know how to do it, pay somebody too.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But people refuse to, like someone said, what actually can be accomplished if we only stand together? We refuse to do things because of fear of not knowing what to do. But if you band together and we have a collective consciousness, and I know how to do this and you know how to do that, and we come together, then you can make a demand. You can make a demand then, because you have more than a hand, you got a whole fist, and you can knock down walls with a fist.
Yeah, they always had them outreaches and stuff. You can go to outreaches. Hey, we're all here. You ain't got to look. This is it right here. This is where we are. We're all here. Everybody's certified. Everything. When the GCs go up, this is who we need to call. One number. They call one place. They got everything that they need. We don't want to hear nothing about you can't find us. None of that.
So you put certified. I'm certified. You certified. We can get to the table. But we need more businesses certified. Stop this nickel diamond and let's get some of this money. That's the bottom line. What Mr. Miller is trying to share with us.
It's 54 billion on the table. 54 billion on the table. If you got any entity that's got the money, I ain't talking about people working collectively to get it. If you got one entity that's got 54 billion, let me know, and I will stop this and I will go over that for real. Because I'm looking for generational wealth. I want to be able to leave my kids and my family something. That's what I'm looking for. That's and I don't know how many people, from based on our backgrounds, a lot of us come from broken homes, single families, this, that, and that. Now we got kids, the difference in the difference in white kids and us is that the parents left them something and this, that, and the other, and they taught them how to be responsible with it. You got so many people that die off, and then the people lose the property, the taxes, and all this foolishness. They left them, and they left them, and they showed them how to be responsible in order to keep it, and now they are winning because they got to start off. I don't want to have my kids struggling and all that like I was doing. I want them to have some type of step ahead of everything. That way they can move on, so that they don't got to worry about. It's and that's just what it's all about. You want to do something or make a difference in other people's lives. Like, it didn't happen for us because our parents was coming up out of the situation of slavery. A lot of them didn't understand financial literacy and all that. So now that we're here and we got the chance to do it, we need to make the difference for the next generation and pass it on. Our community got screwed because of the crack epidemic. That's what screwed. That's what screwed us. The crack epidemic through 2 generations.
100 years.
Yeah, you guys set us back about 100 years because you got the older guys that's on drugs, and then you got the younger guys selling to them. So now there's no level of respect in neither situation, and so now that tears the black family down. So now we're in a situation where we can get involved with something where we can reverse that generational curse.
And let's not forget the plan for the public assistance and separating the families, making sure if you want to get public assistance, you can't have the father in the home. All of these different tricks and trades, we've grown over this now. So now we know how to work the system. Let's get it done.
Yeah.
Let's get it done.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's horrible. My having a background in banking, I saw how, I never forget this teacher, she had transitioned and she had one son. And that dude came through that bank probably every other day until the woman had close to $1 million. Within months, he was broke.
He was broke because he didn't know how to do nothing with the money.
I never forget. First thing he did was bought a red sports car, and as he kept driving through, he kept driving through. When the money was gone, he tried to blame the bank. We just don't have no consciousness. If I'm spending some money, you see me with spending some money. Trust me, they ain't getting my money. I'm getting theirs.
Hello.
So there's a method behind my madness.
Yeah, I mean, we just gotta, yeah. So we gotta. We just gotta, you just gotta do better. When you know better, you're supposed to do better. You know what I'm saying? And it's just, all the
how do you get them to? How do we wake up the masses? Let's not even deviate from the conversation, but I have to put this on here. Everybody and their mama got something to say about what Kanye is saying. When the man was a billionaire, now he's not a billionaire, and all of this, that, and other. And he's speaking some truths that a lot of us don't want to hear. But why is it we let all these atrocities that they come at us with, we say nothing when they come at our own. We so separated and divided.
Because everybody worried about the money. See, the thing with him is he had the $1 billion, but he really didn't have it because he was under everybody else's control with the contracts. So he really didn't have the money. Like they tell them that you got it, but then you really don't got it. How you gonna have something and then it's stripped away from you in a day because you really don't have it? And that was the thing that he was saying. I really don't have it. I was so glad when I said that. And then all these other groups talk about us like a dog all the time. And then one person say something about one group, and he shut off. Like, come on, that don't even make that. I mean, you got to sit down and think that man ain't no billionaire being done. Don't work like that. How many dummy billionaires? Like people just don't dummy up on $1 billion. It don't work like that. But because I made one statement about another race of people, how you know how many spooks and monkeys and all that they call us all the time, and how they doing us?
But here's what I'm trying to say. This is what I'm trying to say. Why do we jump on the bandwagon with them against your own?
I don't know. It's the craziest thing because they don't like you no way.
I've heard people say, I can't stand Kanye. How did he affect your household?
But you will foreclose on your house or go into debt to try to get to a job. But you don't like Kanye West, but you gonna go and get a bank loan in order to try to get your car out the pound so you can get to this job. And then at the end of the week, you broke and you broke her. Or you go out of your way to
the dummy.
Who the dummy? Or you go out of your way to celebrate Christmas and all this stuff. And then now you ain't got no money. You broke and you trying to pay your Christmas stuff off for your income tax. He ain't doing all that.
He ain't doing all that.
He ain't doing all that.
Y'all buying those $700 clothes.
Shoes. He ain't doing all that.
For $700.
Man, you know, it's you get what you like, but you do it in moderation. I can't have $700 pair of shoes on, and I ain't even got a car.
Or I don't have a bank account.
Or I ain't got a bank account.
My point is, I think it's that collective consciousness. What's wrong with us so much so we're the only culture. As soon as somebody go against us, we go against ourselves. We hate ourselves. We tear ourselves down. What's wrong with us that we can't see? We're the only ones that do that.
We're the only ones that do that.
No other culture does that.
Nope.
No other culture does that. We go against each other for no reason.
I don't understand.
Now we telling people how to get the money. How to get the money. This is how you intelligently get money. Guess what? You ain't gonna have nobody watching.
Nope. It's crazy.
We really need divine intervention in this thing. It's from all the way from the top to the bottom in our culture.
Yeah.
Mr. Miller is sad.
It's sad.
It's sad.
You know, it's sad. I mean,
entitled. We don't support the ones that support us. We think that somebody's entitled to do something for us. We sad.
Yeah.
That's just the bottom line. We just sad.
Yeah. You know, it's and it's, I don't know. I know one thing. If we as a culture, we as a people decided not to celebrate Thanksgiving and Christmas, that will put a heck of a dent.
We can tell. No, I got one better I got one better. How we can really put a dent. If we decided that we weren't going to put all our tithes into the church. Now I know I'm gonna get some flack on this. Put your money that you earn into the church, right? And you put it into your community and help the people that are less fortunate like it should be. Then we can move, we can do some things, because ain't nobody benefiting from a brick if ain't nobody able to live in a brick. You can't live in the church money.
You just have to watch. When you put your money in the church. I mean, for me personally, I go to, I'm a member of a church, and that church that I'm a member of is outstanding. They go during the pandemic, they gave away almost $2 million during the pandemic You know, they don't. The church don't walk in debt. It's all paid off. You
That's it.
know, and you know it just all and where you
So
and
you
then.
watch. So here's the bottom line: you watch where your seed is going.
I
So
mean, it's not me watching it. It's not me watching it. It's them putting it in the pamphlet when you walk in the church. They tell you exactly where every dollar is going. You see your money.
so
That's
they're
what I'm
being
talking
held
about.
accountable. But what
Yeah,
I'm saying is, if we change the scope of what we do, the way we do it, we can be more effective with each other.
yeah.
Nobody should be outside in this winter time and not having a place to sleep. And you got churches that's 5 to 6,000 square feet, and ain't nobody there.
Well, and then
That's heated.
again, I don't. You know, for me, you know, you know that it's there. So it's up to you to go and take advantage of it. You know about procurement. So it's up for you to take advantage of the situation. A lot of
Okay.
times people decide to be in a situation because that's a decision that they make. So
True.
it's double sided. Now I can't like if I decide that I'm depressed about some for some reason and I want to walk off the face of the earth and be homeless, that's a decision that I make. You know,
True.
I know you can make it if you just get an address. So if I get an address, I can get an ID. It's certain stuff that I can do with an address. That don't mean I gotta live at that address, but I need to have at least something somewhere where somebody can send some mail to. And
Right.
so once I get that, now I can get out and I can make me a living. But if I decide to get off the grid, then yeah, that's how you're gonna be. You're gonna be off the grid. Again,
Mhm.
that's a decision on
And
people.
then and then that takes away from the wealth. I mean, that's getting off the grid is pretty much taken away from the wealth.
Yeah, well, I just know that you ain't gonna get into this 54 billion without doing no paperwork.
Exactly. That's
that
exactly what I'm saying. But we can tweet, we can we can Instagram, we doing everything else, but we're not doing taking care of our business.
no, it's a lot of money on that internet, man. A lot of money on the internet.
Yeah.
There's a lot of money on the internet. And once you get certified and then you become vendors of all the entities, now you winning. See, it's one thing to get certified, but then once you become a vendor, that's a different story because they have more vendor
They sending it
opportunities
to you.
than they do procure. I mean, they do like the bit like Metro have more smaller jobs like tile, painting the room, this and that, than just doing the whole big building. You know what I'm saying? A lot of those smaller,
Mhm.
because you got on purchasing officers and they always have small jobs that they trying to get done and they
Right.
get the
Five,
money
ten
allocated. So
thousand
that's where
dollars.
that NAS code come in that because if you got that NAS code and you got a purchasing officer that say he wanna say they wanna build or they wanna do service on the electrical room or something, then that goes straight to the electrical. It doesn't go to the general. It goes to the electrical. Or if they want to do service with HVAC, that goes straight to HVAC. That doesn't go to a general contractor. Or if they want to do cleaning, you can get a contract where you can clean the whole Metro building for 3 years or so. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I saw IT. If you are IT, the IT they almost giving you checks. I saw one bid for Metro to work in a data center or do some programming stuff with the data center, which was 3.3 million.
Mm-hmm.
But
This is what I'm
for two
sorry.
years. It was 3.3 billion, 3 million for 2 years. And
Give them
that
some
was IT.
samples. Why don't you throw out some samples of where people can go to see where these bids are?
Well, once you get started, it doesn't. So okay, so you can go to any of the entities and go to procurement
So
and
if
go to
they
the
go to the
procurement
city of Chicago, what would be
website.
the so you go to
Procurement,
the city of Chicago
procurement,
and look
procurement.
at the contracting opportunities. If you
Yeah,
go to CTA, look at the contracting
contracting
opportunities.
opportunity.
You go
Yeah,
to Metro, contracting
contracting
opportunities.
opportunity.
And that
Yeah.
way you can see what these bids are for yourself and make an informed decision as to whether or not you want to be certified. So this
If
has
you
been a
if you
good
if you
conversation.
if you really want to do it, you find what your NAS code is, and then you go into your NAS code. You find out whatever it is you want to do. It don't matter
Oh
if you
yeah.
want to lay tile, if you want to do admin, if you want to do HVAC, plumbing. If you want to, you go into it, and then you find out what your NAS code is. You put that NAS code into that different system, and pull up, and it'll show you all the opportunities that deals with that.
Streamline it,
Yeah,
right?
to streamline it. So you want to always get something or be in something that you can bid on. Like you don't want to get certified in decorating because there's no opportunities in decorating.
Right,
You see what I'm
right.
saying?
Ain't
Yeah.
no
So there's
NAS
no
code for decorating.
right. You don't right. There is
But they
one for
do have
decorating, but it's
event
not.
planning.
That could be one. Yeah, that
That's
could
a
be one.
NAS code for event planning. So
Yeah.
I can help people to understand whatever their gifts are and their talents are. I can help them to find out what the NAS code is when I do the certifications for them.
Yeah. Well, if they GC, they can do GC and finished
Management.
carpentry. They can do tile. They can do well flooring. They can do doors. They can do like it's been contracts where they just did 1,000 doors.
Yeah,
And
that's a
you,
lot of
and you
money.
just go and you go in there, you do 1,000 doors in a place. Like you talking about some of them doors is $1,000. And that ain't even before you hang the door. That's just getting the door and all the mechanism stuff that go with the door. You see what I'm saying? And so now you in there, you got 200 doors at $400 a pop.
$500 a piece.
There you go. That's enough. You run in there, get them doors done, invoice them people, get on out of that place.
200,000, you out.
You out of there. It's 400,000.
That's
You
good
out of
money.
there. That's good
Yep,
money
400.
any day of the week. You can put two guys in there on the salary. You figure you making $400 a door. You schedule yourself to do 4 doors a day. Boom.
Yeah.
And there you go.
And they can employ people. Mr. Miller, it's been wonderful. The information, all we could do is have the conversation and share the information. It's up to people to act.
Yeah.
So once again, if you need any type of heating and cooling, the number is 773-444-8432 for Miller's Heating and Cooling Consultants Incorporated. Mr. Miller, you've been wonderful. You've given us so much to go off of. If people just on the replay, I know we kind of deviated from the certification to the mindset, but I believe that it all go hand in hand because you have to have a mindset in order to do stuff like what we're doing, in order to be able to go to that next level that you're supposed to go to in your business. So thank you so much. A wealth of information was shared. Once again, you can reach Mr. Miller at 773-444-8432. We pray that you guys enjoyed the podcast. We are not racist or anything. We're trying to develop our communities and develop the strategies that's needed to be able for us to bring the wealth into our communities that we've been lacking for a long time. So it takes a collective consciousness and a conversation.
You all have a good one. Talk to you soon.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Miller.
All right. Bye-bye.